Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys our BBR Season 6 Week 3 battle up against Gravy and his Vancouver Titans. Jack is a very, very solid player. He has a really scary team, and he's having a great season so far. Definitely go check him out in the description below if you haven't done so already, but I'm sure you know Jack if you're, here and around. He's, doing well in a bunch of different leagues right now. And he actually knocked us out of playoffs the last season he played 2 seasons ago. On one of the most heartbreaking games of my career. It was a really tough one. I'd recommend you go check out that video if you haven't already. It's a pretty interesting one for sure. But I want my revenge. Definitely putting a lot of work for this team, and I'm really hoping that it does well. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy today's Draft League Wi-Fi battle, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel. I'm on our way to 3,000 subs, and I'd really appreciate if you help me out along that journey. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the team builder. If you want to skip ahead to the battle, there's a timestamp on the screen right over there, and in the description below if you want to check that out. And yeah, with that being said, go ahead and jump on into it. Now, our team, if you did forget, right over there, and it consists of Chien-Pao, Terrafarian, Ground Enamorous, Lamora, Corviknight, Slitherwing, a Volumole, jeez, I'm stumbling over my words, Mudsdale, Goodra, Rotom-Mow, and Typhlosion Hisui. All the opponents team is at the bottom of the screen. It consists of Landers, Incarnate, Terra, Flying, and Steel, Roaring Moon, Cinderace, Mew, Toxapex, Serena, Tauros, Paldea, Aqua, the Dunsparce, not Dun, Dunsparce, Magneton, and Poltegeist. Now, the biggest threats to me, one is kind of going to be that Landers. Like, Gravity sets can do well. I think, actually, physical, Gravity SD sets can be really scary against my team, or mixed sets with Gravity Earthquake plus Psychic for Slitherwing or something of the sorts. That thing can get really scary offensively for me, but I think I have a lot of ways to actually revenge it. I think actually have a really good Landers matchup, all things considered. Roaring Moon is going to be the absolute biggest threat to me. My Fairy is an Enamorous, especially when this thing can Terra into either a Flying or a Steel type. It can really set up on a lot of things and really go to town on my team, so I have to be very careful about Roaring Moon. I am expecting Steel, personally, but we'll see how that ends up going. We'll talk about that a little bit. Cinderace, Mew, both scary Pokemon. I'm really worried about Hazard's Mew, and you'll see that in our prep and our lead scenarios. But physical sets like DD is also pretty good against me, in my opinion. Even Nasty Plot sets are pretty good. It did lose Vacuum Wave, so that's always a good thing to note. And then Tauros, Paldea, Aqua is something else I really, really do think is going to come, and something that could be really annoying for something like Chien-Pao, which runs this team otherwise. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into our first member, which is going to be our Enamorous Incarnate, rocking out with Play Rough, Superpower, Terra Blast, and Taunt. We are rocking out with Contrary this week, 88 HP, 204 attack, and 216 speed with a Jolly Nature. We are creeping the Landers Incarnate. A 2-hit KO Pex after a Rock and a Spike with our Terra Blast, and then we have the rest in our HP just to take a little bit less damage from different things on the team. And if you look at Terra Ground, physical Enamorous to speak, it goes absolutely puck wild. That beats anything not named Cinderace and Roaring Moon. Once we start getting superpowers up, those things aren't really going to be great at revenging us, to be completely honest. Other than that, Terra Blast is just for Pex. It nukes through Pex. It can also nuke through Cinderace, which is pretty nice. And through the, if you like Magneton or something like that. So that's really cool. But realistically, it's just for Pex. Other than that, Play Rough Superpower hits everything incredibly, incredibly hard. Once we start boosting, things are going to get scary. Taunt is great for things like Pex that might want to haze us. Same thing for maybe a Will-O-Wisping Mew. We can always taunt that thing and then start wearing it down in that regards. Same thing for a Dunsparce. If it wants to try and taunt us, we can always, or glare us, we can always taunt it and then just superpower away and be in a pretty good spot from there. So definitely excited about Enamorous this week. I think it actually can do really well and can really snowball out of hand for our opponent. Next up, we have our Chien-Pao. We're rocking out with a Clear Amulet with Psychic Fangs, Sacred Sword, Ice Shard, and Crunch. 128 HP, max attack, and 128 HP with the Jolly Nature. We were creeping Cinder and Moon with max attack, best HP. Just barely couldn't get Jolly, but I want to make sure I outspend those threats because they're big, big threats against my team. And it's nice to have something that guaranteed revenge those things. This Pokemon is very, very strong this week. Things like Tauros are not going to appreciate repeat switch-ins with Hazards up, and especially if I can get that thing with the Psychic Fangs with my Clear Amulet, I'm not going to worry about Intimidate. I'm going to do a shit ton to that Pokemon, for lack of a better word. Psychic Fangs also is very good for things like Toxapex, doing as much damage as humanly possible to that thing. We're going to hit things very hard this week, and I'm definitely really, really excited for our Chien-Pao this week. I really kind of wanted Sucker, but I figured Ice Sharp was going to be better. I like Sacred Sword as well, because not only does it hit things like Magneton, but I'm really, really, really expecting Terra Steel Roaring Moon, so I want to make sure I can be able to hit that thing very hard, and it's not going to, avoid damage from taking Ice Spinner or something. Then we have a physically defensive Mudsdale, rocking out with Earthquake, Body Press, Stealth Rock, and Heavy Slam. EVs as we are Max Fist Def. I totally forgot to put this in the layout. I'm just not remembering. Jack also had a Hatterene. The reason I remember that is because I have Heavy Slam for the Hatterene. Other than that, Earthquake, Body Press, these things very hard. This is a great rocker. It's a great Roaring Moon check. It also checks the Cinderace, can pivot it on that. Force Rocky Helmet on both of those. Something I was playing a lot in Mox was not really actually a lot of Cinderaces, but I was more so playing a lot of Choice Scarf Roaring Moons to revenge Chien-Pao and resist its priority Ice Shard. So I like having this thing to punish that thing going for U-turns, getting up rocks, boosting up its body pressures, and hitting decently hard for, you know, a more defensive Pokemon. Then we have our Glamour. We are weakness policy this week for Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Power Gem, and Mortal Spin. EVs to get 200 HP, 164 special attack, and 144 speed with a timid nature. EVs wise, we live a Mew and Hatterene Psychic. We have speed for Serena and the rest in our special attack. Pretty interesting. We are actually going to be lead this week. The reason being is I'm very scared of Hazard lead Mew. I think my team can get very overwhelmed very fast by Hazard's Mew, especially because I'm not bringing Corviknight this week. I think Corviknight is very passive in this game. So, because of that, what we'll be doing is we'll be leading this Pokemon, guaranteeing getting off a Mortal Spin on that Mew, and if it wants to set up Hazards, we'll spin this away. If it wants to Psychic us, the turn afterwards, we can always Sludge Bomb, do a ridiculous amount with our weakness policy, and put on some good offensive pressure. Our opponent's team doesn't appreciate it. Now, another thing that this is useful for is pivoting in the Toxapex. Surf from Toxapex is doing like 30% max. Then I get off that +2 Earth Power, and we're looking in business with our Chien-Pao and our Enamorus. So I really like this set this week. I'm pretty proud of this lead, and I'm hoping I can do well. Then I have an Alomola. We are Liquidation, Wish, Protect, and Healing Wish. Pretty simple. This is going to be our main pivot into Cinderace because I want to keep my Mudsdale healthy for the moon. I want to keep this thing to pivot into that Cinderace, punish it for going for U-turns, etc., etc. It is really just supposed to pivot on that, wish things up, and even potentially healing wishing like our Chien-Pao or our Enamorus in the late game if they end up getting chipped down, attacking and breaking for each other. We can always healing wish and get a second life on those Pokemon, which is always going to be really, really nice for us. Then lastly, I have a Goodra, rocking out with Dragon Tail, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, and Ice Beam, 224 HP, 160 defense, 108 special attack, and 60 speed def with a Careful Nature. No, I think that's the one that's minus attack. EVs wise, we live 2 Lando Life Orb Earth Powers after rocks. We take a neutral Dragon Claw from the Roaring Moon, and then we throw our special attack. It's really odd not seeing a Dragon Stab move, but realistically, if you look at this team, outside of the Hatterene that isn't shown, we kind of hit everything we need to with just Bolt Beam plus Flamethrower. Dragon Tail is to deter setup on Pokemon like Mew, on Pokemon like Poltegeist, on Pokemon like Roaring Moon, once it Terras and things like that. I want to be able to Dragon Tail. Even like Calm Mind to Dunsparce can be very annoying. So I like to be able to Dragon Tail those things around, maybe even a nasty Flying Landers, but I'll play just next week, to be honest. But yeah, just a nice sponge this game. Only issue is that Hazards can really, really whittle it down. We don't really have super reliable means of wishing it up. We'll see how things end up going, but the Pokemon that kind of switch in and fully Alomola aren't necessarily always going to be the Pokemon that are checked on by Goodra. So it's going to be kind of hard to pass wishes into it, but it's at least here as an early game sponge, pivot around, Dragon Tail things, and, you know, kind of throw off some decently strong attacks and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be the team. I'll be right back with the battle. Alrighty, guys, here we are with the battle. We are connected with Gravy. It looks like he brought Magneton and Poltegeist. These are things I didn't expect. Magneton, Poltegeist. Maybe he brought it for Corvi, but like if Corvi was coming, I was bringing Shed Shell. We see Mew, which I didn't actually play in Mox, but I figured would come, to be completely honest. Roaring Moon, no Landorus, Tauros Water. And then we also have Cinderace. So, I'm going to do as I planned on doing. I'm going to lead off with my weakness policy, Glim. I can take any hit from the Mew, and we can kind of go from there. Okay, good luck, have fun too, Jack. I can use my Goodra as a check to the Poltegeist, which is good. That's a good thing. Because there's no, like, overload factor with the Landorus, too. So, not playing Lando I is awesome. I'll take that. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous before these games. Something different about Wi-Fi, man. That's something different about Wi-Fi, is I am always terrified. Crumpets. Okay. I do see it. Poltegeist. I mean, Shadow Ball doesn't do it kill me. Do I want to just Power Gem now? I think I am just gonna Power Gem. It doesn't kill me with Psychic either. Like AV. Lagging Tail? Okay. Sticky Barb. I mean, it's interesting. It is interesting for sure. But, like, he doesn't have a good switch into this. I think I can just always Power Gem. It's a 3-hit KO. That's great. I don't think Earth Power kills is an issue, but I think I always click it. I also don't think he's Hazard's Mew if he didn't lead it. I'm just gonna Earth Power though. He might think he has a Magneton pivot, but I don't even have a Poison move. Like, I'm fine with getting off this damage if he wants to pivot out. It also covers a Tauros pivot, it covers Cinderace. It, like, literally hits everything still, so. It's like a max HP Poltergeist. He is gonna withdraw. Give me the mag. I've decided. Old Mutes. Kinda wish I Mortal Spun, but it's okay. Comes out. Takes a little bit of damage. I'm just gonna Mortal Spin. Basically tries to set up. I was surprised he tricked turn one, being that I could have been Black Sludge, but it's all good. Obviously, if he's faster, he's faster. My only attacking move right now, too, is Earth Power, and he should kind of recognize that. I don't know. He's gonna withdraw. Unless it's a Magneton, I get a Poison on something. Okay. This is all just good shit. Like, I'm not gonna complain about this. We saw no item on Mew. Gonna die here? Do not. I mean, I feel like I always Earth Power, because, like, Power Gem doesn't kill anything, and this punishes a really aggressive switch for no reason. Yeah, so, I mean, Lamar's gonna get one on lead. I got a lot of chip on the Mew. Poltergeist is gone. These are all good things, so not super worried. I'm glad I didn't go Sludge Bomb on, what do you call it? Oh, I mean, I guess I couldn't have Power Gemmed anyways, so, like, not that big of a deal. We weren't Hazards, by the way, because I was scared of Cinderace setting them up. Yeah, from here, what do I want to go into? I think I feel pretty comfortable going out into, what do you call it, Mudsdale. I think I feel pretty comfortable going out into Mudsdale. Does he have to go out in the same term as me? Yeah. Hear me out. Oh, this is awesome. This is perfect. So, 403, let's see if he's banned. Let's see if he's banded. He's gonna withdraw hard, so we don't know. We're gonna get up our rocks. Eden. And this is my check. I mean, I always just body press here. This scares me. I hate when you're playing a Draft League game and someone goes into the Pokemon that you're supposed to check. It is so scary. He's gonna Terra. I feel like it should be Terra Steel. If he's Terra Flying, I always have, what do you call it, to Revenge, so I'm not super worried about that. is Terraflying, which is interesting. Okay. I mean, I just spam Heavy Slam, right? Put this thing in range of an Ice Shard. He has to attack me. No. Into Moon. I mean, I just spam this. He has to get low. Eventually. I have Ice Shard. I wish I was Whirlwind, but I'm not. Or Rock Slide. Decided Heavy Slam instead because it'd be better into other things. Let's see if he's Yachi. Right? How low do I need to get him? Pretty low. But even then, like, +2, he's not booster. It's Roost. Okay, I lose. I can't believe I just... Maybe I should have just been Roar or Rock Slide. I think I lose. Immediately. Been unfortunate. Ain't that a bitch. Yeah, I think I lose. GG. I just should have been Roar. And it's no fault but my own. I just should have been Roar. I just keep getting cheesed by setup. It's unfortunate. I mean, on those Roost turns, he does lose his flying typing. And if that's the case... like 50? Look at... What? What? He's a flying type, right? You're kidding me. There's no way that's how that works. I lose. It's a wrap. Hao just isn't strong enough, especially because he's definitely Yachi. Like, I can... It is very telegraphed that he's Yachi. And at this point, I lose. Wrap. Unless he clicks Outrage. Air Blast. Doesn't matter. Wrap. Doesn't make contact, we lose. Yep. GG. +6. It is unfortunately a wrap. I mean, +1, so like this does more at this point. I mean, this isn't even gonna be super. This isn't even gonna be neutral, which doesn't make any sense. How does that make any sense? If you're roosting, you should. I don't get it. GG. That's frustrating. Sometimes you just get your ass kicked. I'm very frustrated, but I got outplayed. I prepped shitty. Just lost, you know? I remember when people said, it's not even that good of a Pokemon. I don't know why people think Roaring Moon is that good. Yeah, I don't know. Just got my shit rocked. Embarrassing. I don't understand how that works. I lose. It's Yachi. It's not even Yachi. Got a crit, which is lucky, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, but GG's to Jack. There's no out from this position. We do indeed lose. Yeah, it's just like 200%. Actually, it's a roll, so if he super throws and doesn't roost, we can get off a liquidation. But yeah, he's gonna roost. There's no reason not to. And then from there, we just lose the game, unfortunately. He's like max defense. GG. I should have just been Roar. I should have just been Roar. I should have just been Roar. But it's an embarrassing one. It's not fun to spend a whole week prepping and then getting cooked like this, you know? But what can you do? He'll get his win, and we're gonna get 5-0'd. I just should have been Roar. I should have been Rock Slide. I'm very confused as to how Earthquake and Body Press aren't doing neutral damage like when you Roost. Because I feel like if you're a flying type, you should be a flying type, but yeah, GG. Happens. It's very frustrating. I'm very disappointed in myself, you know? Because I feel like it's a matchup I can win. I just subpar prep-wise. It's very subpar. I can try my best, but it's not looking good, boys and girls. This wins, though. But yeah. I'm not gonna Terra, because it takes up more time. I don't know. Embarrassing. What can you do? GG's to Jack. He played better and he got better. Simple as that. I thought that Mudsdale was more than enough. I was really tunneled on Terra Steel, and it didn't come. Can he miss Terra Blast? I was really tunneled on Terra Steel, and I just didn't have anything for Terra Flying. So yeah, GG's to Jack. Go check him out in the description below. His video is probably a lot more interesting than mine. People are gonna love this one. I can't wait to get ripped over this one and have a bunch of shit talked. But you know, what can you do? But GG's. Thanks you guys for watching. I'll try and bounce back next week. Later.